I'm about to show you undeniable proof that the Uber algorithm operates in a way that, at best, is extremely slimy, and at worst, is market manipulation and wage theft that in no way can be legal. And I am so pumped I found this video. It's from 2023. It actually occurred during a project I was doing where I was documenting my earnings throughout the week of Thanksgiving. And I thought I had deleted these files by accident, but it turns out I had backed it up on a hard drive, so go me. Is there anything better when you find out that your past self did something to help your future self from its own stupidity? Now, the only thing that's different about Uber now, as compared to when this video was made, is that the promotions that I'll be talking about have all but disappeared, at least in my market. But the way the Uber algorithm operates, doing everything it can to keep drivers' pay as low as possible, has not only stayed the same, but you got to think it's an algorithm collecting millions of data points every day. So it's gotten better at getting more money to go to Uber, which means as a byproduct, less money to go to drivers. And look, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. I recognize that employers paying employees as little as possible is nothing new. But what is new is that for the first time in human history, we have a corporation that is able to use a high-powered algorithm to change prices and payouts for literally the same ride by the second, while at the same time using the most devious marketing imaginable to trick drivers into thinking that they can earn more than they actually can by working for them. That's what I want people to understand, especially people who come from traditional jobs with traditional employers that think that Uber is going to treat you fairly and in a way that a more traditional employer would treat you. It could not be anything further from the truth. Case in point, on this particular week, I was given an incentive to drive. Uber told me that if I gave 40 rides between Monday and Thursday, I would get an extra $55. Now, the way this works is, for those unfamiliar, is that it's an all or nothing promotion. It's not like if I give half of the rides, I'll get half the bonus. I need to give all 40 rides by Thursday, otherwise no bonus. If I give 39 rides and call it quits, no bonus. Or if I'm a few rides away from hitting the promo and Uber randomly decides to freeze my account so that they can conduct a background check, and then coincidentally the background check does not clear until the day after the promo is over, I get no bonus. Yes, that has happened. Or say I give 40 rides and then afterwards one of my cheapskate riders who are looking for a free ride lies, reports me to Uber and says that I never actually gave the ride. What Uber will do is deduct a ride from my tally and not give me the bonus. Yes, that has also actually happened. Now, you can find this stuff all over my channel, and there's stories just like this all over YouTube. And I bet by the time this video gets 100 comments, at least 15 of them will be drivers sharing stories about how Uber weaseled their way out of paying them a promo, or showed a surge area, and then the moment they got there, the surge disappeared, or the hundreds of other tricks that Uber does to mess with drivers' pay. But what you won't find anywhere else on YouTube, well, at least I haven't seen it, is a video that so clearly demonstrates how the Uber algorithm operates into manipulating drivers' pay. So again, it's the week of Thanksgiving. I'm doing a project where I'm documenting how much I earned during the week, and I'm chasing a promo where I'll get an extra $55 once I hit 40 rides, and I have to do that by Thursday. And I would have hit those 40 rides by Wednesday. However, just as the bars were closing on the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, the busiest time of the night of the busiest night of the year, my Uber app glitches out. And for whatever reason, I could no longer log in. I tried for like 20 minutes, and no matter what I did, I could not get into my account. And despite the years and years of seeing how Uber operates, I still wanted to believe that they wouldn't be that scummy. I thought maybe there's a glitch in the system. It's a busy night. Maybe something happened with the servers. But then I logged on the next day and I drove around Delco for 30 minutes looking for a ride, and I didn't get a single offer. And that's when I started to think something was a little fishy. But nevertheless, there was turkey to be eaten and football to be watched, so I signed off the app. But out of principle, I was going to get those 2 rides before the day was done. And that's when I had my idea. If Uber isn't going to pair me with a rider, what if I pair a rider with me? Later that night, I had stopped by a family friend's house and my dad happened to be there, so I asked him to borrow his phone. My plan was to log on as a driver from my phone and from his phone request a very short Uber to Wawa right down the street. So I'm at Thanksgiving and I'm thinking I just need 2 rides. Why don't I ask my dad to request an Uber? We'll go down to Wawa, get a Powerball, become multi-millionaires, and I'll get my $55 from Uber. It'll be a win-win, right? I kid you not. I don't know how well you're going to see this on the screen. For the past 20 minutes, we've been in the same location requesting an Uber. So I'm the closest driver. The next closest driver is 15 minutes away. He's not even getting matched with anyone else, and it's not pairing us. This is insane. You got to see this. You can see my car there on the app. You can see my car. All right? My car is right there. We're going to choose UberX. Pick up here. There we go. Confirming ride. I'm right there. I'm right there. How is this not happening? How is this not happening? And it should be noted that this family friend's house that we were at lives out in the middle of nowhere. So I was sure that there wasn't going to be any other Ubers around. And sure enough, the next closest driver was like 15 or 20 minutes away. This is insane. Uber's quite literally not giving me this ride because it would force them to pay me $55 out of their pocket. So you would think that when there's a rider requesting an Uber and an Uber driver literally at the same address, that's the driver that would get the ride, right? That's insane. Look at this. I'm sitting here with nothing. And then they pair me with somebody 9 minutes away. I've done this multiple times when riders have wanted to request me through the app for whatever reason. And as long as there's no other drivers around, 99% of the time it's going to work. And if it doesn't, they just cancel it, try again, and then it works. Sorry, bro. Gotta cancel. Let me ask you, do you think it worked this time? Of course it didn't. Otherwise, I wouldn't be acting so melodramatic in a video about how Uber manipulates drivers' pay. But the interesting part is why it didn't work, and it's a clear look at how the Uber algorithm operates. We're going to try this again. Same thing. Here we go. Choose UberX. Confirming ride. The best way to understand how and why Uber manipulates drivers' pay is to look at this situation through the eyes of Uber. I'm not getting a request. How is this possible? So Uber sees me sign on to the app and they know I am 2 rides away from getting an extra $55 that comes out of their pocket. The algorithm has millions of data points to know that if a driver signs on to the app when they're 2 rides away from hitting a promo, their goal is to drive until they get that promo. So basically, there's an expected cost for Uber for each of the rides that I'm going to give for an additional $27.50, $55 divided by 2. So when my dad's Uber request comes in, even though I'm the closest driver by far, and even though that's the best experience it would have for both driver and rider, Uber doesn't care about that. This is what Uber cares about. Uber cares about the fact that the rider is about to pay $8.91, we'll just say $9 for this ride. From that, the driver, me, is going to get, for this, I'm sure I would get the minimum fare. It was such a short trip, and back then, I believe the minimum fare was $3.80. Now it's $4.34. Regardless, it doesn't matter. But Uber knows it's going to have to pay me, we'll say $3.80. But the algorithm also factors in that if they give me this ride, there's an expected cost of $27.50 because I'm driving to get that promo. So essentially, they would be paying me $31 for a ride that they're only getting $9 from. So they're losing $22 if they give me this ride. And remember, I didn't set out to find this. There was like 15 minutes of trying to request an Uber before I even started recording. So this was going on for a long time, and I'm getting no offers from Uber until finally I get an offer, and look at what they give me. I hope you can see it. I'm going to make this as bright as possible. And I'm still waiting. Oh, I got a request. Nope. 13 minutes away. Look at it. Look at this request. I got to screenshot this. 13 minutes away for a 75-minute trip. And again, this shows how amazing the Uber algorithm is for keeping drivers' pay as low as possible while maximizing profits for Uber. Now, I don't know what people who don't drive for Uber might think. I'm afraid they might look at something like this and think, whoa, $75 for a 65-minute trip? That's like $70 an hour. But what you have to consider is that it's 13 minutes to get there, plus, and more importantly, I gotta drive back. Chances are I'm not gonna get a ride from Pottstown to Delco at 11:30 at night. So when you consider the drive back, not only is the hourly cut in half and the miles doubled, you also have to think, that means I'm not getting home until 1 in the morning. And remember, I was just trying to sign on the app real quick, give 2 rides, and get my ass to bed. And you trolls can go ahead and delete that comment saying that if you don't like the offer, don't take it. I didn't, okay? And that's not the point of this video. The point is, this is a perfect example of how the Uber algorithm operates. So I looked up what the rider would have paid for that ride. And for those of you who have seen my recent videos or who have just been following along with, the gig economy recently, you know that it is very much in line with the 50% split that Uber is taking from drivers. But more importantly, think about how that applies to the $55 promotion that's coming my way if I give 2 rides. The rider pays $150, I receive $75 from the fare. And if you add on the expected cost of $27.50 that I have coming my way when I complete the promotion, the algorithm sees that Uber is still profiting $50 from this ride. Shoot, it could even account for the entire $55 promotion on this ride, and Uber is still making $20 just from this ride. That's insane. Do you understand how fucked up this company is? And my dad's account is still not getting a ride. Do you get that? That's how insane this is. There's still no ride for my dad's account for this request waiting. And I swear, I'm starting to sound like a broken record because I say this in every video, but you just can't say it without talking about Uber, is that it gets even more sinister than that. The craziest part to me is that Uber knows, because of my driving history, because of its algorithm, that under normal circumstances, there is 0% chance I would ever take that ride. Again, this video is from 2 years ago, but I think as early as last year, Uber started showing on the offers it gives drivers that this offer is outside of your normal preferences, which tells me, as a driver, it tells drivers that Uber knows what offers you are going to take as a driver. And they're figuring out how far they can push you by saying, hey, this is outside of your normal preferences, but we want to dangle this carrot to see if it's big enough for you to bite. And that's what it was doing here. They knew that there's no chance in hell I would ever take that ride if I didn't have a promo coming my way, but they just saw me online for all this time looking for a ride, chasing this promo, and they think, hey, maybe we can bait them in with this ride, and that way we're still profiting even after we pay them the promo. Think about it like this. You are trying to earn the most money as possible for yourself while competing with a high-powered algorithm that's trying to pay you as little as possible. It's like you're not just driving for Uber, you are engaging in a real-life man versus machine competition. And as we're still waiting to see if this ride gets paired, I want to reiterate that that's my main point. You are on your own with this gig. There is no set rate or hourly wage, and the amount they're going to pay you literally changes whether you look at it per hour or per mile with every single offer they give you. The only thing that you can count on is that they're going to try to pay you as little as possible. And it's on you to decide whether or not the offer they give you is worth it. And I want to be clear, depending on your market or the time of the year or an event that's going on in the city, there will always be opportunities to earn with these apps. But you just got to go in these things with your head up. I never ended up getting paired with my dad's phone.
That's crazy.
But eventually I got offers from 2 rides that I felt comfortable enough taking because they were so short. They were trash offers. Without the promo money, the amount of money I would have earned for those 2 rides for all the time I spent waiting for them worked out to be $1.82 an hour.
That's fucked up.
And once again, that just shows how genius the Uber algorithm is. Even when you factor in the promotion money, that puts my hourly earnings below $30 an hour, which in my experience is the absolute maximum Uber will ever pay a driver, except for rare circumstances. And I talk about one of those rare circumstances in this video here. I really appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you at the next one.